Hello, friends. It's me here. I am going to start off today with a reading from Friday, January 20th, 2017. Today is the day of Trump's inauguration. It's scary. There are protests. Word that the White House's website has deleted mention of climate change action and LGBTQ rights. Things are about to change and very negatively for some people. I pray for love. I'm disappointed because I was supposed to be going to the Women's March in Denver tomorrow, but I caught a stomach bug yesterday. I think I need some rest. I can't seem to form any more coherent thoughts. And then sometime later in the day. Some things I want to ponder later when I'm not so foggy-brained. Emotional addiction. And by that, I mean addiction to emotions or emotional experiences. Emotional addiction and how it's related to our patterns and habits. Intentional creation. Quantum theory and how that relates to our reality. And how matter comes into being when we put our attention on it. Whoa, I'm about to watch the movie Equals and my chest just clenched up. Anticipation. Emotional addiction. I'm addicted to the feeling this movie gives me, and when I realized that, my second thought was, oh no, I don't want to give that up. It feels really good. That's clinging, attachment. And then I have some notes here. I think I might have watched this, what is it called? What the Bleep Do We Know documentary? But I have some notes taken that I took from it. We only see what we believe is possible. And therefore, we can't see what we cannot comprehend. Therefore, it is necessary to learn the knowledge first. Therefore, I should stop beating myself up over my acquisition of knowledge tendency. It is a process. Knowledge, then experience. Why can't we remember the past? Why can we remember the past but not see into the future? Why can we affect the future with our actions but not the past? We know that an atom is a solid nucleus surrounded by a probability cloud of electrons popping in and out of existence. Where do they go? But now we find out that the dense solid nucleus does the same thing. It's more like a thought than matter, like a tiny information package. When you aren't looking, it's like a wave. When you are looking, it's like a particle. Waves of possibility versus particles of experience. So quantum superposition equals a particle in multiple positions at once, a wave of possibility. Saturday, January 21st, 2017. Today is the day of the Women's March. I'm so bummed that I got this stomach bug. I'm missing the march today. Boo. Anyway, yesterday I watched the movie What the Bleep Do We Know and was left with a few things to ponder. First, the whole idea of quantum mechanics, that matter is not really solid and static like we think. The matter actually behaves like a wave of energy when unobserved, and then behaves like the solid static matter that we think of as matter when observed. Quantum superposition explains that matter actually exists in more than one location at the same time until we put our attention on it, and then it snaps into the reality that we then experience as real, solid matter. So it's waves of possibility when unobserved versus particles of experience when observed. So instead of seeing our external world as solid and real and outside of our control, we have to realize that each bit is just a movement of consciousness, the consciousness of the observer. So we are actively shaping our reality constantly, and we don't even know it. We perpetuate the idea that reality, the external world, is so separate from ourselves, so outside of our control, because we believe that it is. And the more solid and separate we believe it to be, the more solid and separate it becomes in reality, because we are shaping it that way. The more I believe that people don't care about me, the more I victimize myself and think that others are going to hurt me, the more that it will happen, and the cycle gets stronger and stronger in this way. We create our own suffering. Whoa. Intentional creation. Is this why we are here? To practice creation? But all of this works on a physiological level too. We create neural networks based on the emotional responses that we have attached to the experiences. And the more we allow those networks to strengthen, the more of a habit, an ingrained pattern they become. And then the less control we seem to have on them. Our body takes over. We are no longer bringing conscious awareness to these circumstances in our lives. We are allowing our body and mind and emotions to take control, not ourselves. Our hypothalamus is responsible for producing the neuropeptides, hormonal chemicals made from proteins that signal emotional responses in our neural circuits. When we have these neuronal habits, our brains become addicted to these chemicals. Therefore, we become physically addicted to emotions, even ones that we might label as bad. We become addicted not necessarily because it is something we want to feel. The quantity of the experience creates the addiction. So we become addicted to fear. We become addicted to feeling helpless, insignificant, worthless. And then because we are creators, we create more of those things in our lives, which only reinforces the addiction. So how to break the addiction? Break the habits, interrupt the thought processes. Bring enough awareness into your life to be able to recognize when you're entering into one of your emotional neuronal networks and then interrupt it. Weaken the neuronal connections, and then create new ones. This all makes sense to me when it comes to negative habits and thought patterns, but what about the ones that really wouldn't necessarily be considered negative? Are all emotional addictions negative? No, I think this line of thought falls into the unuseful dualistic perspective, good versus bad. I think I need to be thinking more along the lines of conducive or inconducive to my evolution. So take, for example, the anticipatory feeling that I got last night before watching the movie Equals. I feel a little bit embarrassed talking about this, about how many times I've seen the movie, about how many times I've listened to the songs from the soundtrack. I mentioned all of this way back this summer when I first saw the movie. I had watched it like 3 nights in a row, and now I've probably seen it that many times more. And now the feelings that I get are not as strong as they were when I first watched it. Yeah, addiction. Over time, the more you need to fulfill the over time, the more you need to fulfill the craving. So, what is it exactly that the addiction is for? It's not the movie itself, it's the feelings associated with it. There's a physical aspect to it. I mentioned before the anticipatory tightening of the chest, but that physical aspect is not just a part of the anticipation. It's also part it's also a part of the present moment in the emotion. It's a swelling and expansion. I can feel it right now. It's making me tear up. It's so powerful. It's almost overwhelming. It almost hurts. No, not really hurt, more uncomfortable. It's so strong, it's almost too much to bear, like I am going to burst apart. What is this that is happening? It feels so important, so significant, like the only thing that really matters. What is this? I want to cling to it, and yet I am somewhat afraid of it. I want it so badly, yet I don't think it will ever be mine. Then there's a little break in the writing. Whoa, what the hell just happened? I was crying profusely, starting to almost feel overwhelmed, and I told myself to just sit with it and observe, not to cling or push it away, just watch it. And then it almost instantaneously vanished. What? What happened? So, I'll make a side note. As I was trying to observe in myself what was going on, how these feelings were affecting me in my body and rising up so strongly, I tried to just observe it and witness it. And what happened was that it just dissipated like almost immediately when I tried to observe it. What is it? Is it love? Or the feeling of wanting something so badly that I will never be able to have? I think that's why I got so overwhelmed just now, and why I shut down when I tried to look at it closely. I think the little girl part was coming out just now, trying to speak to me, but she started to get overwhelmed. And I'm realizing that there is some part that steps in, a firefighter, that just shuts things down when I get too close. But all of that was something different, I think, than what normally happens. That was weird. It morphed into something different than what it started out as. The feeling that I normally have been having when watching that movie is uplifting, joyous. It's full of hope. It's a feeling of deep, intimate connection, of something bigger than oneself, of a beauty so raw and powerful that it's almost otherworldly, surreal. Surreal? Meaning not real? Is that why? Is that why I have the weird, almost painful feelings associated with it? Because it's not real? Because it's fiction, a movie? Not real, as in that kind of love doesn't exist in real life? This thought is breaking my heart. This has always been the thing that I have held on to, this hope, this idea that a love exists that transcends, that breaks down barriers, that cannot be stopped. I'm having some dark thoughts now. I almost feel like this is making me crazy, like I'm clinging to this hope of something extraordinary, and if I find out that it isn't true, I'll lose it. I'll lose all will to continue on. What purpose is this life? There's another break in the writing. And then, oh, fuck, I'm so scared. My heart is racing. I'm terrified to find out this was all a fantasy. I need a sign. Please give me a sign. And then another break in the writing. I feel really weird, uneasy, intense disappointment with the tiniest shred of hope. I keep checking for the sign. And then I go into like almost like a stream of consciousness writing. And when the sign doesn't come, then what do you do? I'm afraid to move, afraid to breathe, afraid I'll miss it when my eyes blink. My body pulses, it waits, suspended, inanimate. Every fiber held taut. It will all shatter with a single thought. Denial, it can't be true. Everything I'd clung to, false, proven wrong. The hope held for so long. Underwater, surreal, at the bottom of the ocean, everything moving in slow motion. I feel numb, disconnected. I'm slipping into an abyss, spiraling downward, can't seem to get a grip. I don't want to go down this long, dark hole. Wake up, contact your soul. Oh, wait, my soul doesn't exist. All dreams, fantasies, all just a wish. Is this darkness real then? Or is this the myth? I can't tell the difference between reality and a wish. I asked for a sign and it didn't come. I put my whole heart in and was left with none. I put everything in to prove my belief, and now I feel hollow, an empty sheath. Yeah, that was interesting. I was like going into like a little like a mental overwhelm, and then like spontaneously like stream of consciousness wrote this weird scary poem. Did I just have a mental breakdown? Holy shit. Or am I just being a spoiled, immature little bitch because I didn't get what I wanted? I didn't get my fantasy that there is magic and mystery in the world, that there is love and... Fuck. I'm having an existential crisis. How did this happen? All of a sudden. I went from thinking about a movie to this. Am I making up this idea that it doesn't exist at all? This transcendent love? Rather than facing the idea that maybe it does exist, but that it won't happen for me? Is the numbness of its non-existence easier to bear than the pain of not being worthy of it? Oh my God, my mind and emotions are all over the place. I can't keep up. What is going on? I need to step down from this ledge. This is a dangerous place. Or am I just trying to placate myself? I don't know what is the real reality. I see this mundane world filled with so much struggle and pain and greed and hate. And then I look on Facebook and see all those women gathered together, being strong, standing up for good, and it's heartwarming. But to put all honesty out on the table, I'm mostly jealous. I was supposed to be there, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm pissed. I'm pissed that my employer made me work when the little girl had the flu. He even commented that he knew I wasn't happy about it. And then I get sick and miss my tattoo appointment, which I've been waiting 2 months for, and the march, which I wanted to go to so much. I had already reserved a hotel room and a parking spot and spent over $50 at the hardware store on supplies to make my signs for the march. Damn, I'm pissed. And a huge part of me wants to let my employer know that. I want to make him pay for infringing on my happiness, and I feel guilty about that. Damn, I feel like shit. Damn, damn, damn. I don't know what to do. Do I make myself feel better? Distract? Do I try to stay with it? Analyze it? Try to figure it out? I'm exhausted. I'm transferring. The desperation I felt over not receiving a sign, I'm transferring that into feelings of anger over getting sick and missing my plans this weekend. It's easier to feel anger about that than the desolate, numb feeling I had over wondering whether any of the spiritual stuff is real. Wondering whether love is real. Wondering whether I'll ever have love again. What do I do? I think I need a reminder of why I'm on this path. But first, a walk. And then there's a gap. The walk was a good idea. And then another gap. I'm addicted to Facebook. Because it makes me feel connected. I see what other people are doing and saying, and it makes me feel like I know them, at least a little. I post things that I care about because I want people to see and to care. When I'm out in public, I'm addicted to looking at faces, to see if they see me, to feel connected. I'm addicted to fictional media that makes me feel connected, characters that love deeply. I'm addicted to feeling immersed in the storyline of losing myself in another life, a life in which I feel connected. I'm addicted to distraction, to numbing, to fantasy. I'm addicted to making myself feel like I'm a part of something bigger, bigger than my sad, lonely life. I'm addicted to wanting more. I don't know what. I want to be wanted. I want to be loved. I want to feel important. I want to feel like I matter. I want to feel like I'm enough, just me, even with my flaws, that I'm enough. I'm addicted to feeling victimized because then I don't have to feel like it's my fault. Then I don't have to feel like there's something wrong with me. Then I don't have to take responsibility for my life. Then I can make myself feel better than others. I am good and they are bad. I'm addicted to acquiring knowledge, information, because then I feel like I'm doing something productive. I'm learning. I'm growing. Then I feel like I have a purpose. I'm moving towards something, making myself better, becoming better than who I am. I'm rather depressed after what happened today. I'm not sure what to do with it. I don't want to over-dramatize, but I feel almost betrayed by the universe. I feel like I put myself out there. I wanted some clear indication that I was on the right track, that I'm not deluding myself with these spiritual pursuits, that I'm not playing into just another fantasy. I want something to cling to. Damn it. A handle. I was looking for a handle, something to grasp, something outside of myself to make me, my ego, feel secure. I wanted security, a guarantee. Wow. Okay. 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 That one was pretty long, so I'm going to stop this here. And I'll see you in the next one.